Race 2 of the round of 8 here for the Geico 500 from Talladega Super Speedway. Hello everybody, and welcome back to a brand new episode of our NASCAR Heat 5 Career Mode. Hope you're all having a great day. We had a very solid outing in Homestead, Miami last episode in the first race of the round of 8, putting ourselves in a decent position coming into today's round here from Talladega, the middle race of this round. Drivers that didn't have great days. Ross Chastain ended up inside the top 10 but had a pretty mediocre day. Christopher Bell, Chase Briscoe didn't have great days, and Joey Logano had the worst possible day. It looked like he was going to be a threat early on for winning the race. Instead, it was his teammate Ryan Blaney that picked up the win, and Joey Logano faced an early DNF, putting himself well below the cut line by over 40 points, coming into a track that can have the ability to completely flip that upside down and maybe even put himself back into the picture now as we come into this weekend. Joey Logano has some work to do, to say the least. We had even more news this weekend. We have a brand new team coming into the Cup Series next season. It's going to be a one-car operation, and they have purchased one of Front Row Motorsports' charters, who will downsize to a one-car team next season with Eric Jones. Welcome to the NASCAR Cup Series full-time Tricon Garage. They enter the NASCAR Cup Series. It's going to be very exciting to watch them on the track, and I will not announce the driver yet, but stay tuned on that. Qualifying here from Talladega, the goal at 48.232. We already know that's just simply not going to happen. So we cross the line, we accept the last place effort, and we actually are sharing the back row with our teammate of Christopher Bell. Not what you want to see for a teammate that needs a good day, as of course qualifying does not matter here in Talladega. You can go from the back to the top 10 in stage 1, so not concerned about where we're starting. Logano inside the top 10. On pole, it's William Byron, joined by Spring Talladega winner Austin Hill. Xfinity action was in Talladega this weekend. No Truck Series race. They started their Final Four last episode at Talladega with the 3 races to come, of course. And the Xfinity Series had the second race of the round of 8. How about Sheldon Creed getting 2 back-to-back wins suddenly in his career? Haley Deegan with a great effort bringing her back into the mix. Daniel Suarez with a bit of a rough day, putting himself in a bad position. Justin Allgaier, Ryan Truex, not great days for them. And you look at the playoff grid, and it's close. Going into the final race of the round of 8 for the Xfinity Series, Brad Perez, after an abysmal day, finds himself 7 below the cut line. Caden Honeycutt back by 2. Truex, Allgaier, both at risk. Brandon Jones, Taylor Gray, not even safe. It is going to be a dogfight for the final race of the round of 8 to see who advances into the Final Four. Now let's go to the second race of the round of 8 here in the Cup Series from Talladega.
The wild card race in the round of 12 could change anything. Who should we keep an eye on in Talladega today, Steve?
Keep an eye on Joey Logano to make up points, and watch Kyle Larson, who has a terrible record at these tracks. He looks good, but could lose lots of points.
Maximum points today. If we can capitalize on it, we can put ourselves in a good spot for next week.
Absolutely, James. Let's stay after and get as many stage points as we can and make sure we're in a good spot for Mid-Ohio. So there, maximum points. We want stage points as well to put ourselves in a better position for next time out for the finale of the round of 8 in Mid-Ohio. Of course, we have never made the Final Four, and we absolutely want to change that here this time around. In Season 4, the green flag is out. We're racing from Talladega Super Speedway. Race 2, round of 8 underway. William Byron, Austin Hill lead the field to the green flag as we dive down into turn 1, getting up through the gears, picking up some speed behind this Trackhouse Honda Civic 99 Worldwide Express machine driven by Kyle Busch. He had a great episode, or a great result last time out in Homestead, Miami. A nice top 3 finish there for Kyle Busch. He won, of course, Homestead, Miami early on in the season, as Miami is one of the handful of tracks we do visit twice in a season, as I'm nearly into the back of that 99 as we head down this back straightaway into turn 3. How about Eric Jones? Had a great result in Miami, of course, finishing top 10, running top 10 all day long. Next season, it was announced today that Tricon Garage bought the charter for the 38. We know Zane Smith is leaving the 38, going to Penske Racing's number 2 next season, or sorry, number 12. The number 2 is still going to be for Todd Gilliland, but we know that Front Row Motorsports will be only a 1 full-time car operation focusing around Eric Jones. And I think, honestly, this is going to be a great move for Front Row. I think they could be a bit of a sneaky team that could go into next season with a lot of momentum and a lot of strength, because even with 2 cars full-time, they have been showing a lot of strength. They do have 3 in the field today. Michael McDowell up there on the right side in the field. Last time he was in the 36, he actually won the regular season finale at Daytona. So definitely have to watch out for Michael McDowell here today as we continue moving our way through the field early on. We've already gained over 10 positions into the 26th spot. Carson Hocevar there on the outside running a Dale Jr. Throwback now as we continue on. And we got past the likes of Josh Berry, now passing Kyle Larson here. Of course, Larson comes in the top seed. He's been so on cruise control really this entire playoff. Had a tire failure last episode at the end of stage 2. Still got the points for it, and he did give up a bunch of track position at the end of the stage. Was able to make up the majority of it back and still get a top 10 result in Miami. We saw a really interesting strategy in Homestead, Miami as well, where Shane Van Gisbergen, Christopher Bell, Bubba Wallace, Alex Bowman all stayed out long after a different pit stop cycle they were on, and it really worked out for SVG specifically as we continue on now behind Eric Jones. But SVG was able to get a respectable top 10 effort now as he continues his first ever winless season in the NASCAR Cup Series, looking to change that maybe today in Talladega or as soon as the next few episodes, going to a road course for the final time next episode. Couldn't that be the best opportunity for Shane Van Gisbergen to win? He was on course to win in Watkins Glen. No one had anything for him, but a bad pit stop completely ruined that and changed Shane Van Gisbergen's season, and of course eliminated him from the playoffs. We have worked our way into the top 10 behind Rajan Caruth in the 48, who looks to be on track to win Rookie of the Year after a horrific first half of a rookie season campaign. He has put himself in great position in the final half now, and here he is in the top 5 right now as we are currently led by Ryan Blaney, last episode's winner. Of course, heartbreaking for Blaney to get eliminated from that round of 12 in the way that he did, to immediately go into the first race of the round of 8 and pick up the win that would have put him into the final 4. 2 seasons in a row where he was so close in a position where if something happened just a little bit differently, he would have been in the final 4 in back-to-back seasons. Unfortunately, doesn't happen for him, but through into 3rd, Chase Elliott, playoff contender, takes the lead of this race. We're not even halfway through stage 1, and we're in the top 3 following the 48 Overstock Chevrolet of Rajan Caruth, and we're going to push him to the inside of his Hendrick teammate of Chase Elliott, and now actually a bit of contact with the 27 of Sammy Smith and that Andretti Global Honda, but we'll pass Chase Elliott through 3 and 4. Up into the runner-up position we go. What a drive through the field early on, as we would now get connected with Meyer Shanks, Austin Cindric, now the last handful of races for that team and driver. Cindric actually leaving NASCAR at the end of the season now as there's a crash in turn 3. Playoff contender Briscoe goes around collecting a few others, including Austin Hill. Caution is out. Briscoe's race continues. It's not day over. He can still rebound, but he's in no position to score any stage points, that's for sure. Everybody's going to be coming into the pit lane just after we took the lead. What a drive through the field to get to P1 here now as we'll get ready for a restart just a little bit past halfway in stage number 1. I was talking about Austin Cindric, so he is leaving NASCAR at the end of the season, focusing actually on sports car racing. He's going to be joining the IMSA grid full-time next season now as we are back underway here from Talladega. It's going to be 7 laps of racing here in the stage. We got the 48 just behind us as we have a very nice launch off the line down into turn number 1. Maybe the type of launch you don't want to get where it's just simply too good, but we aren't too far out in front of that 48. He's actually reeling us in now as we will get right up on our back bumper here on the exit of turn 2 heading down this back straightaway. We don't have to, look at these stages as must-wins. I mean, we come in above the cut line, not by a lot of points, but we're still above the cut line. That's the important thing. Here comes Ty Gibbs, defending Cup Series champion. As it stands coming into this race, we have in the top 4 2 Hendrick cars, 2 Joe Gibbs cars. Kyle Larson and Chase Elliott for Hendrick, myself and Ty Gibbs for Joe Gibbs Racing. Imagine that, going into the Final 4, if that stands, that would be one heck of a Final 4, because I feel like, myself, Elliott, Larson have all been so consistent, and Gibbs has really turned it up going into the playoffs and has been on a whole new level. I really think anybody in that Final 4 can win the championship, especially with the new format of the 3 races, and most points takes the championship. championship instead of a one-race winner-take-all. It is going to be an exciting Final Four no matter who's in it, as we continue to lead the way. A bit of a late block on the 12, and here comes Ross the Boss Chastain. He's in need of a good day. He wasn't bad in Homestead, Miami for the first race of this round. He just wasn't as good as the drivers in front of him. The Larsons, the Elliots, myself, Gibbs as well. Christopher Bell had a very midday, and he really took a hit after winning the first race of the both previous rounds of the playoffs. Didn't quite work out in the first race of this round, but he's got today the wild card race, and this could either, give you a really good chance to advance, or this could make a bad situation worse for the likes of a Bell, a Logano, a Chastain, or a Chase Briscoe, who is already worse for. New leader, Rajah Caruth around the outside. To the lead goes the number 48 Overstock Chevrolet, and here comes Ty Gibbs and Chase Elliott in my rear view mirror. Two drivers that are already with myself in the top 4, and we are all doing exactly what we need to be doing. Kyle Larson, however, nowhere to be found. 3 by 3 behind everyone, getting after it. Bits of 4 wide as well with Zane Smith in the background, and help from my teammate. To the lead we go again down the SPAC straightaway, passing the 48, but it wasn't over. He got hung out to dry, 4 wide on the outside, and here comes his Hendrick teammate of Chase Elliott with 2 laps to go in stage number 1 as we head down this back straightaway. Ryan Blaney, last episode winner from Miami, trying to get up in the mix to win stage 1. Elliott trying to get clear down the SPAC stretch, and he will, and actually I'm going to get hung by my teammate there. The Gibbs goes to the inside. We'll settle in behind the 9. Help from the 12 of Ryan Blaney down the front straightaway, still wheel to wheel with Ty Gibbs. Actually a bit of contact coming to the final lap in stage 1. Elliott in control. Tire smoke from Connor Zilish, and the caution comes out, and the Andretti Global driver is going to be done for the day with a mechanical failure, and stage 1 ends a lap early, and it goes to Chase Elliott. P3 for us, as Gibbs just barely had us at the time of the caution. And not what we wanted to see, but we still are ahead of everybody we need to be ahead of in the positions there to score some points. So, yeah, looking at the drivers below the cut line, the only one that scored was Christopher Bell at 8 points. Everybody pits for fuel and tires, and we'll get ready for stage 2. So myself, Chase Elliott, Ty Gibbs, we all did everything we needed to do. Kyle Larson didn't score any stage points, so, not going to be helpful. And you see the live playoff update. So Larson, although he didn't score any points, he's still over 40 points above the cut line. But now Elliott, 29 points above. We find ourselves 27 points above. Gibbs at 24. Right now it's not even a contest. Chastain, Bell, Briscoe, Logano, they all need to make something happen before this race is over, because, well, the worst case scenario just happened with Gibbs, myself, and Elliott. The second, third, fourth drivers in the points all in the top 3. That's literally worst case scenario for any of them. And the only way it could have gone worse is Kyle Larson scoring points, but of course that didn't happen. 19 laps here in the stage. 4 wide behind us. We are seeing quite a bit of 4 wide as we have a big run on Gibbs. He goes high. Actually, I want to do the same thing just as he was covering it. Pretty well, you saw the move he made, and just as he was making that move, I was already starting to pull my wheel right there to commit, and then I had to back out of it. So we get back down to the inside. Here comes Zane Smith in that number 38. Excited to see what he can do at Penske Racing next season behind the wheel of the number 12, replacing Ryan Blaney, who heads to 2311 Racing next season. Now we're all over the back of the 54, and now right now I was okay being right here because we're working with our teammate. Look at the gap behind us. The pack separated a little bit there, a little bit of disorganization. So I was pretty happy with where we were. I did want to be leading this race. I just want to have control of this race when I can get it, but I also didn't mind riding right here behind my teammate Ty Gibbs for a few laps, putting ourselves both in a pretty good position going through this second stage. So if we can both score maximum points, that would be ideal. Actually, caution comes out, and it's the 33 who blows the tire. That's Rookie of the Year contender Jesse Love. It's been a pretty rough rookie season for him, but it's been a rough season overall for Richard Childress Racing. We would immediately get ready to go back racing. Nobody pits, so everyone stays outside of that 33, and now we get ready to go back racing. The green flag is back out. Only one car currently out of this race. That's the 28 of Connor Zilish. Now Gibbs and myself, 13 laps to go, lead the way here in stage number 2. 3 wide behind us. Here comes Ross Chastain. Thankfully I saw it and I was able to cover it. And unfortunately Corey Heim, who had a horrific result in Miami, he was off all weekend again. Long started at the back with issues and just never was able to go anywhere. Well, he gets forced out 3 wide. Didn't quite work out for him there. Chastain being aggressive. He knows he needs to be aggressive. He needs to score 24 points to even tie with anybody right now, and that would be Gibbs as the last driver in the final 4. And Chastain's going to give me a push as we go down into turn 3 side by side with Gibbs in the mirror. I can see on the inside, 3rd in line. That's the 98 of Chase Briscoe for RFK, the lone driver left for the Roush Fenway Keselowski team inside the playoffs after they put all 4 cars in. Of course, with Keselowski here in his final season, we now know Christian Eckes will be behind the wheel of that number 6 going into next season. I think that's going to be honestly a solid move for RFK. Eckes has shown some signs of potential with Rick Ware racing all season long, and they of course are by far the worst full-time team in this career mode, so the fact that he's been able to show any signs of promise is quite a feat. So I do believe Christian Eckes is going to be a good move. Is he going to be a champion driver? Doubtful, but of course RFK still making some solid moves to put themselves in a good position for the next few seasons, I think, of this career mode. Really the one that we have to watch out for is going to be Justin Haley. 1 win this season, he had 2 wins last season, had a really solid season his first time out with RFK, and then this season it's been a disaster. Although he made the playoffs, he never really had any pace, and it was all because of that win that he had, of course, at Phoenix Raceway early in the season. You never know, Haley could maybe get after it, pick up another win this season, but I really doubt that's going to happen unless it came right here today at Talladega. But we have seen many times surprise winners can come out of those wild races where we see maybe a caution come out with an awkward pit strategy. You just never know what's going to happen. Now as we make a bit of a hockey move, break the ankles, deke him out on Zane Smith, to the inside we go, and back to the lead, and Chase Briscoe would follow. We continue out in front like we've done for a large portion since the, well, later parts of stage 1. So coming to lap 13, it's starting to become apparent we might have that right there. Green flag, pit stops kick off. That kind of surprised me. And a bunch of cars pit. We're going to stay out a little bit longer, and I think we're going to box maybe right here at the end of lap 14, but nobody can make it to the end of the stage. Green flag, pit stops. Gibbs is going to get forced out 3 wide on the outside. He's got part-time Timmy Hill just behind me, and then Austin Hill is up his inside as we roll through 3 and 4, and actually Gibbs on lap 14 looks like he's running out of fuel in the background there. He did lead laps early on in the stage. Fuel light is on. We're going to box as well, trying to take it easy. I have sped at Talladega a few times, so I did not want to do that here, so we take it really easy getting into the pits. It's going to be a 4-tire stop, and fortunately we get down to pit speed. It's going to be a 15.2 second pit stop for the 4 tires, and of course the 2 cans of Sanok Racing Fuel. 15.2 it turns out to be, as we will head back onto the track. We've got nobody around us. It's going to be really interesting. We're going to be P10. Jesse Love is going to come in. Actually, he's going around another time. Jesse Love's pitting, going to pit at the end of this next lap. Of course, he can go a bit longer because he is the reason for that last caution, but I don't think he can make it to the end. But we do stay on the lead lap. Most importantly, here comes a pack of cars behind us. They're not going to get to us right here in 3 and 4, but they should probably get to us next lap. It's currently led by Kyle Busch. Now problems. That's the 5. It's Kyle Larson. Tire failure for the 5, and the caution ends the stage. And more importantly, Chastain picks on points, myself getting 1. Gibbs gets a few, but the most important bit is Kyle Larson's out. Larson's out of this race. It's day over for the 5, the top seed in the playoffs, who has over a 40-point advantage. That's the benefit of all the playoff points. That might be the difference in him making it now into that final 4, as he is now going to give up a lot of points here today. As some pit, some stay out. We stay out because we just pitted. We gain 2 spots and find ourselves in P8 for stage 3. We'll take a look at the new playoff leaderboard following stage 2. Larson's out of the race following stage 2. He is 39 points above the cut line. That's going to drop even further now as we get going towards stage 1. Look at this, 4 wide for the lead of this race. Chris Buescher, Austin Hill, Bubba Wallace, and Ross Chastain. We're going to follow through as well as we continue on. We'll take a few spots out of it now as we start the stage over 20 points above the cut line. 21. Elliott at 22. We all lost out because Ross Chastain was able to score points. He's now 21 points below Ty Gibbs. So myself, Gibbs, and Elliott we're only separated by one single point. What is it going to look like, however, after this race? That is the big question, but we find ourselves in a very, very unfortunate position as we exit turn 4 on the outside. 4 wide, a bit of contact between the 3 and the outside wall. Fortunately, we squeeze through. Usually you get pushed into the wall and absolutely screwed over, but this time we're able to get through. We got help from JustJay, and he's willing to help anybody as we're 4 wide right now, going down this front straightaway into turn number 1. A little bit over 20 laps of racing to go here from Talladega now, and we continue to go down the order. Not what you want to see, and what we do want to see is the guys below the cut line, though, staying behind us. William Byron there to my left side, Brad Keselowski just in front. He would love to get one more win before he ends his career as a full-time driver. Don't be surprised if you see him make a few select starts next season. He's never won a Daytona 500. Keep that in mind. Keselowski, I'm sure, will be back for RFK next season, at least for the Daytona 500, and maybe some other races like a Talladega, maybe a Darlington as well. You never know. But yeah, it's going to be exciting to see Keselowski do some select races, I'm sure, next season behind the wheel of that number 6, or not the number 6, whatever number they go for, maybe the number 60. Wouldn't be surprised with that. Actually, I'd say that Justin Haley drives the number 60, so he'll be behind the wheel of something. We'll have to wait and see. Now 4 wide in front of us here. Now we'll pass Austin Hill. John Hunter Nemechek right there. I'm going to cut down across his nose. Caruth going through. Here comes Chase Briscoe as well in that number 98, trying to go through on the inside. I'm on the inside of one of my teammates, of course the only teammate not still in the playoffs. That's the 18 of Chandler Smith, who didn't make the playoffs to begin with, but still wasn't getting an opportunity to get down to the inside. So waiting patiently, we only have 7 laps to fill, and it's becoming likely again we might get a second cycle of green flag pit stops here. We had green flag pit stops in Miami, we might get them in Talladega. How about that? We are going to have maybe 2 back-to-back races with a green flag pit stop cycle right there to the back of Hocevar, who's trapped a lap down after that badly timed caution for him, and the likes of a few others now as we come through this trioval. It'll be 20 laps to go. SVG on my inside. Eric Jones got trapped a lap down as well. There it is. 20 laps to go in the second race of the round of 8. Now Cole Custer just in front of myself. Jones behind his teammate of Michael McDowell, the Daytona regular season finale winner. As we continue 3 wide in the middle, Christopher Bell knows he needs to get something done here now, and he needs to finish up towards the front, and that's my exact objective. Trying to finish close to the front as we can here and get those points, because it's going to be an interesting Mid-Ohio. You never know what's going to go down at those road races, so we need to do everything we can to try and win this race here today now as we continue on in these final less than 20 laps of racing. Christopher Bell continuing to follow him. Chase Elliott going backwards. We'll pass him on the inside here and continue to follow our teammate in the 20. Bubba Wallace was briefly leading, but that lead would get taken away pretty quickly. How about Nick Sanchez up there for Andretti Global right now, running inside of the top 10, but we're going to continue to try and breeze past him, which we would do exactly that by the time we come through to the start of lap 51 as well. We'll push the 20 past the 98 single file in the top 6, now top 7, and there is the field light. Do we pit now? Do we pit later? Some have already pitted. You can see on the track map a bunch in front of me pitting, including my teammates, so we're going to pit as well. Reddick leads the field now, actually getting big contact into the back of the 20, but a contact with Legacy Motor Club's John Hunter Nemechek as well. But for the second time today, green flag pit stops are underway. We do have some repairs after hitting the back of the 20, so we're going to lose a couple of seconds here, but we had a really solid pit entry and a really solid pit stop, so as you can see, we're still going to come out with pretty well the exact same group that we were already with. Now we're a little bit behind the 20, but we're still with the 42, the 23. We got William Byron just behind us. He's going to give me a shot immediately there, try to get me back up to speed. And we continue as we head down this back straightaway to just work on building that speed up. Christopher Bell kind of got hung out there, and you can see the lack of pace that he has. How about Keselowski as well? We'll breeze past him. Do we take the run? No, we'll stay with the 20 of Christopher Bell. We're going to try and help our teammate here of Christopher Bell as well, wanting to help everybody that we can now. And here comes the next group of cars. This is a big group of cars. Bell nearly gets a huge incident right there. We all get through it now, but everybody's stacking up behind us now as we continue on. And the 17 just ranked Nick Sanchez to the inside. That's going to bring out a caution there. Sanchez rejoining, gets hit from behind by the 17. Caution flies. Oh boy, we're going to be P10 with about, I would say, 10 laps to go. Jesse Love's now pitting Sammy Smith out in front. No, Love completes his stop, so he'll be P2. We will be row 5 outside for a late race restart. So, it all comes down to this. Joey Logano is down the order. He needs points. He really needs to look at winning this race. I don't think that's going to happen. Logano is likely looking at a must-win going into Mid-Ohio, and I don't see that happening because although he's completely turned things around, his weak side has still been road courses. So, yeah, Logano, honestly, I think we can pretty well, unless something crazy happens in these last 10 laps and he goes and finishes second, honestly, I think he still has to win this race. So I think we can pretty well write Joey Logano off of a championship for appearance. Never say never. We've seen some wild things happen before. As we head down this back straightaway, Tyler Reddick going in the wrong direction. Love that car that Paj Designs whipped up there with that Xbox livery. Now, we've been running that pretty well the entire playoffs. So Reddick, it looks so cool here. Now, we got to the inside, things worked out, and look at the run we have to the inside of the 16 and the 23 and the 2, and help from Reddick. We're already back into the top 5. We have been in control for a lot of this race. We haven't won any of the stages, but we have still been in control a lot. Now, into the top 4, passing Sammy Smith, single file, all in front of us. We're trying to work our way around the 42 to the inside of Nemechek we go, coming to lap 59. It's less than 10 laps to go here from Talladega Superspeedway. Now here comes help again from the 45, and I need it because I didn't quite have enough speed to pass the 42 straight up, and now the help continues to push us to the lead potentially here. Byron and Carruth, 2 Hendrick teammates on the outside, through the tri-oval, and will go to P2 and will lead at the line as the crowd roars. 8 laps to go here from Talladega, 9 laps to feel. It's close, but we will have enough feel likely. But if we lead from here to the end, it could get a little bit close on feel. So I wouldn't mind, honestly, caution, say, right now, you know, to save me about 2 to 3 more laps of field, and we will be in control of this race now. But Carruth is coming back at us with help from Byron, so he would get the push he needed, and he would actually be in the middle lane as Byron went to the top. He has now help from the 36 of McDowell, and actually, as I swipe across the nose of the 45, Reddick goes through 4 wide for the lead. As we come through the tri-oval, we lose the lead. Here comes help from my teammate of Christopher Bell. Reddick has been winless for so long, trying to change that here. He was so close in Watkins Glen. He was so close in Miami. A pair of runner-up finishes in the last few races. He might have actually been 3rd in Miami, but nonetheless 2 top 3 finishes now, looking strong here in Talladega as we exit turn 2. Todd Gilliland spins off the front bumper of the 12 of Blaney, who saves it, and now the 2 crashes into the inside wall. Caution is out. Late race restart coming your way. Some are electing to pit, some will stay out. I think it's a mistake to pit. We will have enough field to make it, so we are going to remain on the racetrack here and keep the lead. Logano's pitting, surprisingly, and I believe Christopher Bell's pitting is going to give up P2. That's a mistake. That is going to be a mistake that's going to put him in a bad spot going into Mid-Ohio. There's no doubt about it. So we maintain the lead on the front row with McDowell, and then behind us it's Carruth and last week winner from Miami, Ryan Blaney. Green flag is in the air. It's going to be 4 laps to settle things out here in the second race of the round of 8. Now, we have put ourselves in great position all race long. Are we going to win the race? I certainly hope so. If we don't, we have still nonetheless scored a lot of points, and we're going to put ourselves in a great position going into that round of 8 elimination race next episode in Mid-Ohio. Another road course now. Down this back straightaway we go, and we would lead coming to 3 to go now, in control, trying to block that 48. Carruth still seeking his first win as a rookie, wanting to win as a rookie. He has been in position a few times as of late to do it. Is today the day? I hope not, because I really want to win this race. Here comes Shane Van Gisbergen, here comes McDowell. We cover them all off. McDowell through into the middle with help from Justin Haley in the number 60. I was calling him out earlier saying he probably wasn't going to win again. Now he's into the mix now with Josh Berry for Call League Racing's number 16 into the mix as well as we exit turn 4. McDowell in command, trying to win again just like he did in the Daytona regular season finale. Here comes Chase Briscoe a few rows behind us as well. Haley would get clear and then jump to the inside with 2 to go, and to the lead goes the 60 for RFK. Justin Haley in control. I have no help right now. Carruth is too far back. Here he comes. Haley jumps high. A lap and a half to go. McDowell on the outside. I don't quite have enough to get to the inside of Haley, and he's going to come cover me off as we approach the final lap of racing. Carruth behind with Austin Cindric in line as well. But who's it going to be? Haley, myself, or somebody else as we come to start the final lap of racing? We jump high. Haley says no. We jump low. He covers it off again now. And as we start the final lap here in Talladega, P2 will be enough to put us in great position, but a win would put us in certain position to make our first ever Final Four appearance. Bell has worked his way back into the top 10. A nice recovery drive in the last few laps after giving up several spots. We look to the inside. Nothing's in it now. We need help. Here comes the 48 of Rajan Carruth. Now can he get close enough? I pull to the inside again. Haley covers it off because we are draft partners trying to get disconnected, but the only way I can get disconnected is if I took an awkward line like driving below the yellow line, and don't want to be giving up anything right now as we exit turn 4 right on the back bumper. It's going to be one last chance, but I think it's over already. Carruth closing, not enough. Trying to deke the ankles of the 60, but that's not enough. Justin Haley win number 2 in Talladega on the season. P2 for us, and it's going to be enough to put us in a great position going into the round of 8 elimination race in Mid-Ohio. In the next episode, you see the finishing results on the screen. What a day for us. And 2 things to know that you don't see in the top 10 is Chase Elliott or Ty Gibbs. Christopher Bell ends up P6, a great result for him. Elliott was P12, Chastain was 14th. Gibbs ends up outside the top 20. He was down there in P25. And of course, Kyle Larson out. Joey Logano, 36. He has scored a total of 2 points in this round of 8 so far. It's been a disaster for Joey Logano, and we're going to see the updated playoff grid where we are now the top seed, 33 points the margin of advantage going into Mid-Ohio. Elliott at 24 points. Larson's DNF puts him at only 17 points above the cut line. He's no longer safe for the first time of this entire playoff. Ty Gibbs 10 points above Ross Chastain. Christopher Bell back by 15. So Chastain and Bell, they can still do it. They need a little bit of help, but it's very possible to now knock out Ty Gibbs and even Chase Elliott, or sorry, Kyle Larson, if he's not careful. And then, of course, Briscoe out by 44. Logano, 71 points. Obviously, that's impossible to mathematically make up. He must win next episode no matter what, and Briscoe realistically as well. That's going to wrap it up for me. As of right now, it's a Hendrick versus Joe Gibbs showdown for the Final Four. Will it change? Can Chastain or Bell find their way in? We'll see in the next episode in the round of 8 elimination race from Mid-Ohio at a road course. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys next time. Have a great day.